سلام لخ مريم مليخ طيبوثة نارا عماخ مريخات المشي وموريخ بيرت خرسيغي شو ناط مريم يلدت آلها صلح لا بين حطاهي هاشا وشاف الموثين آمين.
I am Bashar Warda, the Chaldean Archbishop of Erbil, that's a diocese in north of Iraq, in Kurdistan of Iraq. I am the Catholic bishop, of course, and I have a community there of, until August 2014, there were 42,000. Now, with the flood of the refugees, we are above 100,000 Christians in the province of Erbil. Concerning the current situation about the fighting Daesh, the Iraqi government, the Iraqi army with the Peshmerga, that's the Kurdish units, with the help of coalition, start fighting Daesh to stop them first from moving and advancing, and at the same time to gain back some of the cities. But it's a long really way until we could really recapture all the cities that's been took by Daesh, which leaves some 1,600,000 IDPs, internally displaced people, outside their homes and villages and cities. Among them, we have 125,000 Christians who fled the violence from Daesh from Mosul and Nineveh Plain. And they are now in Erbil and Duhok and Suleymaniya, mainly in Erbil, as refugees, and still waiting for the time when they could really go back again to their cities and their villages and start life again there. Speaking of the Christian refugees, we have received 13,000 Christian families in Erbil, 6,000 in Duhok, and some 1,000 in Suleymaniya and Kirkuk, a total of 125,000 refugees. So we start receiving people on the 7th of August 2014, around 7 o'clock in the evening, I remember. And just within 4 hours, the cathedral was filled. The main building, all the classrooms, the gardens. Then we had to open another church, and then a shrine of Mar Elia, Mar Tishmoni, 11 public schools, and we had to install also a good number of tents. After 2 weeks, we start also thinking as a church how we could really help the families to move them from the gardens and public schools and all this open area to more secure area. So we start renting houses around the city of Erbil to move these families from the gardens, from church halls, from classrooms, from 5 public schools. So by the end of November, we had no family living in a tent. All of them are in proper houses. We have rented as a church 570 housing units. Plus we installed some 500 caravans just to make possible for these families, because the priority was always shelter, health and education. We opened 3 clinics to offer a free health support. Plus we had to work also hard on opening schools in 2 sessions, and with the help that we got from Catholic aid agencies, church communities, so many people who benefactor to the crisis. We were able really to cope with the situation, but life of those people are really difficult because they always think when would be the time that they go back again to their villages and homes. They know that these villages and homes have been looted, but it's okay. They still do believe that they have to go. And when they hear the news that the liberation will take some time, their village is being looted, ammunition is being installed in these houses, you could feel how sad and really they are about the future of their homes, which they worked hard really to build it. And they feel the difficulty of daily situation, daily needs that they need for food. They have to think about the education, they have to think about all possible things. They think also about the difficulty concerning financial issues. Some of them were able to stay and rent houses, and now they always come to us telling us that it's so difficult to continue. We cannot, we need your help. So all of these issues makes the life of refugees really very hard ones, and also for the church to cope with this situation, it's not easy. As you may know, in the seminary or in the convents, nobody have been introduced to cases like this. Within the formation program, there is no special courses to cope with refugees. So we had to learn how really to do it. And sometimes we make mistakes, and we've learned from our mistakes to better the situation, to be more closer, and to better the listening, to be more presence. And in this I thank God. I admire the work of the priests and the sisters who were from the first hours with the people, living with them. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's something that you be there for an hour or two, and if you are there for the whole day, and you have to cope with daily quarrels, with so many problems and terrifying stories. People come just to speak and to tell their sadness, their fears. And from one part, I really admire the work of the priests and sisters who are refugees also. We have, for example, the Dominican sisters have closed 11 missions. They were forced to close 11. They are also refugees. Some 80 of them are there. The daughters of Mary, the Immaculate, the daughters of Sacred Heart, priests who all their parishes were closed. Some of their parishes has been turned to be a prison or a warehouse for weapons or mosque. And these pictures has been sent to them, and they see them on the website and internet. So life, when you take it, life for all, it's not an easy. So we need always to be strengthened by the prayers, by the support of the others, that the persecution which we experience is going to prove the providence of God, which we do feel it. We thank God that none of the Christian families or individuals have been kidnapped or subject to violence. We have 1 or 2 incidents, but it's not like the other communities. And that's really because the power of the prayers that we have had from the community and from our brothers and sisters around the world. Just leaving their villages and cities and their properties and not to convert to Islam and not to accept paying the jizya, it's the first sign that they have faith, because they refuse to leave Christ and they refuse to pay al-jizya because they would like to be Christians with dignity. And that's the first sign. Of course, when they come leaving behind all their belongings and properties, they would have difficulty concerning daily necessities, but that's not to be mentioned to compare with what they've sacrificed. They sacrificed a lot. Some of the people would always come and ask me, how comes, for example, they are, for example, quarreling about this and that, while they are in such a situation. I always say, well, listen, first you have to remember that what they have left behind, and for what? Just to be Christians. That's it. So yes, the sign of faith is growing. Despite all of this, our churches is full with people. We do need more churches now. We have increased the number of masses because we see the needs. It's growing. We have so many people for the catechism. We have so many people and young people attending the youth sessions. Yes. From our work with the IDPs since the first hours was always to remind us that life is more simple than we think, because so many of them have prepared so many things and belongings, and they left it just like this, simply, as I told you, to be a dignified Christians. So of course, when we face this challenge, we have to think really what's important in life, what's the most important things in life. It's not just belonging and positions, it's who you are, a dignified Christian. That's most important. And also what I admire is being a Catholic. Being a Catholic is really giving us the strength that when we know that so many Catholics and true Christians are praying for us, supporting us, giving sign of solidarity. I am proud really of being a Catholic where we have so many people to strengthen us and always trying to tell our stories. Needless to say, the support and the big help that we've got, because the churches were the only one who supported Christians. The central government, they did not really show that much of intentions. The Kurdistan government, they've opened all the possibilities for us to really facilitate, but they do have an economic problem, and despite all of that, they've shown also their interest, but they themselves, they have acknowledged several times when we meet with them, and when any delegation would come, they would tell that the church was part of the solution. In fact, they were really close to their people. So life of simplicity, the strength of being Catholic is just lessons from, and we could go on telling so many really good stories of good news that we have in this. That's the message of resurrection, when God takes the sin and turn it to be good news. It's wonderful. Christianity in Iraq goes back to the end of the 1st century, and during these 20 centuries, persecution was always there. like the Chaldean Archdiocese of Erbil was one of the biggest dioceses in the Church of the East. It had so many dioceses because of the persecution, which at certain point we had 40 years of persecution under the Persian Empire. And then when Islam came, it was these three conditions: Islam, jizya, or leave, to be killed. And so many people were killed. Others were forced to change their religion because they couldn't, for example, stay because of the persecution. So persecution, it's not the first. It's not the first time. In fact, during the last 100 years, we have been experiencing 3 events of persecution. This year, 2015, we are commemorating the 100 years of Seyfo or Seferberlik, which happened in the southern east of Turkey, northwest of Iraq. And that massacre, genocide, which Pope Francis name it rightly, we have lost 3 big Chaldean dioceses. Bishops were killed, priests were killed, hundreds of thousands, tens of villages were destroyed. And despite all of this, Christianity became stronger and stronger. So I do believe in this phrase, because whenever there is a persecuted Christians, there is a strong church. Whenever there is a persecuted Christians, there is a strong church, because the persecution is just saying what a valuable treasure we have, which they'd like to take it from us, but thank God it's been kept. So it's not the first time. What's probably make us sad this time, that some of our people have decided to leave the country and to live their Christianity elsewhere. And that's why we have a very strong Chaldean community in the diaspora, very committed. Like in Detroit, for example, we have 22 young priests and seminarians. All were born in the States. And still there is no new vocations coming to the religious life and to the priesthood from the Chaldean community. So that's the sad thing, that they are leaving the country, but they are not leaving their tradition and their Christianity. And in Europe, in America, in Australia, wherever they go, they are so attached, so close to the church. But of course, being in Iraq, when I see that the community is just leaving to another country, yes, I feel sad. But I know that's because there is the blood of the martyrs that keep those people Christians, even if they are in diaspora. Afraid, yes, Daesh is just 40 kilometers from where I live. But I never thought of, that they will come. But even if they will come, now I am ready. Now I am ready, and I do believe that my people also have given me the strength that we should be ready anytime. You know, they accused us that we adore our mother more than adoring God, because you see, in this time of difficulties, people usually run to their mothers. That's always the case. So the shrine of Our Lady, and whenever there is a feast of Our Lady, which we have so many during the liturgical year, it's so crowded all the time with people. And where if you go and enter any house or any caravan or any tent, I don't think you will miss seeing the picture of Our Lady or the rosaries. It's always there. So you know, our people would be always close to their mothers in the time of difficulties. And we've been known that we are the sons and daughters of Our Lady. So in this case, we are sure that she is taking care of all our needs.